Welcome to TV Toastmasters. I'm Pam Mills, and I am here from Wagon Tongues of Oregon City. We meet Thursday at noon in the Oregon City Library, and you're welcome to join us anytime. If you want to join Toastmasters, you can also go to toastmasters.org and put in your zip code, and you'll find the closest club to you. Tonight, I have Celia Whittaker with me tonight, and she is an expert in photography. She is a professional photographer that specializes in head portraits, senior portraits, and families. She has a lot of experience, and we're going to hear from her tonight of the expertise that she has in this field. Celia, welcome to TV Toastmasters.
Thank you.
How are you tonight?
Good, great.
Good. So tell us a little bit about what your background is in photography.
Oh wow, that's a long story. Let's just say I opened up my first studio in 2003.
Okay.
And so I've been a professional, since 2003, but I did it on the side part-time as a single mom, putting myself through school with 3 kids. I started that at about 1997. So yeah, it's been a while.
And so what does someone do to go to school to be a photographer?
Well, there's several different routes. Some people go and get a degree in photography. I got a degree in science, so I didn't do that, but I was already doing it part-time on the side while I was going through college. I did take some photography classes for fun, which helped me learn. So that's one route, is getting a degree. Another route is joining a professional organization, such as Professional Photographers of America, and each state has professional organizations that help you to grow, where you get a mentor, and it's pretty much learning by doing. And with photography, like anything, the more you practice, the better you become, but you need direction from professionals, from mentors, to help you take you to the next level.
And it's a lot about the equipment that you have too, I'm sure.
Yes.
That is a big part of it.
More than an iPhone, for sure. Yes.
Everybody is a photographer
Everyone's
now, right?
a photographer, or they think they do, because they have a fancy, 10, 20 megapixel camera on their, cell phone, and they take that everywhere, and they take tons of pictures of what they eat and of their pets and everything every day. And now you can buy little slip-on lenses for your iPhone cameras and stuff.
To do zooms. And
Yeah, you can, but it's still like I have a fancy iPhone, but I take lots of pictures wherever I go because I don't want to lug around my camera. So for personal stuff, when I go on hikes and things, but when you download the pictures onto the computer, it's very grainy and it's not crisp and clear. It's crisp and clear on a cell phone. But when you open it up on a screen, you're like, oh,
that doesn't look too great.
No,
it's great on the Facebook,
right.
Instagram.
It's fine for anything web related,
but if you're going to be blowing up a family portrait, it's important to get a very high quality. So let's talk about lighting. I know lighting is your specialty, and you have a good eye for lighting.
Thank you.
So talk to us about lighting. Why is lighting so important?
Well, so the most important part of a portrait, when you're doing portraiture and you're doing people, you want to be able to get the light to their eyeballs. You want to see, you want light in their eyes. You want to take away the shadows, the dark circles under their eyes. You want to be able to. It's all about controlling where the light is, and in order to do that, you've got to know how to do that. So it's about good portraits. And getting people's best side is about angles and lighting. And I guess that takes me into talking about all of us, no one is symmetrical. And everybody has a more photogenic side to their face than the other. And a lot of people, when they find out I'm a photographer, or we're talking about headshots, most adults don't love having their portraits taken. Most women, I should say, a lot of women are uncomfortable having their pictures taken. And I can't tell you that the one thing that I hear the most is, oh, I am not photogenic, or I'm so unphotogenic. And it's really not that they're unphotogenic, but most people haven't had professional photography, and if they have, there's different degrees of professional photographers. There's a lot of people that call themselves professionals who really aren't. They've just loved taking pictures, and started charging, and anyhow, I lost my train of thought.
So when they do have their portraits taken by you,
yes,
then they all of a sudden love them.
Well, that's the goal. So I love hearing people that think, oh, I'm not photogenic, and they're afraid or uncomfortable, because I like to show them that they're gorgeous. Like, everybody is unique, everybody's beautiful in their own way, and I like bringing that out and showing them that they are.
So what are some things that you do when you're doing those portraits when people are uncomfortable? How do you get them to laugh or smile or be themselves?
Well, you talk to them, you ask them questions about what they like to do and about their family, and you get to find out what their hot buttons are and what they enjoy. And a lot of people, some people are pet people and they've got a pet, or they love to do something, or they love their grandchild or whatever, but you get to get them talking about things that they love, that they're interested in, and then they quit worrying about how they look. And all the time I'm directing them. There's nothing worse than having a photography experience where the photographer says, okay, do your thing.
Yeah.
I think
we've all,
what's
my
you're
thing?
like, oh, what's that? You're like, oh, do I look dorky? Tell me what my thing is, right? So I appreciate, or I enjoy telling people and posing them, and then encouraging them. When I see that it looks good, I get excited and I tell them that. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You look so hot. And as I compliment or as I edify them, then their confidence grows, and then they start enjoying it instead of like being uncomfortable. They relax. And it's all about lighting. So I move the light around when I'm photographing somebody to find out which lighting is going to be the most flattering for their face and for their body. And as I do that, then I change their posing, and I move my body and my angle to get the most flattering angle for them.
So let's talk about the difference of outside and inside studio. So you have a studio, it's in Canby.
Yes.
But you do a lot of outside. What's your favorite? What do you like to do the best?
It depends. It depends on the subject and, of course, the weather. So in Oregon, it rains a lot. So it's really great to have a plan B. And for headshots, if people want controlled lighting, they want some basic headshots, they can be really stunning, but we don't have to go outside to do that. A lot of people think, oh, to be good, it's got to be outdoors, and that's not true. To be good, it's got to be well lit.
Right.
And anyway, so regardless if we're in the studio or if we're outside, I always take studio lighting with me and a battery pack. That way I can control the light. I want to get light to their eyes. And as awesome as reflectors are, they're not always, reflectors don't always flatter. It's not flattering lighting. A lot of times it's ghoulish lighting. It's like too much, and the person's squinting. And so again, I like to bring equipment to control the lighting.
What is your favorite subject to photograph?
I have lots of favorites.
Okay,
that's why I love what I do. If I just stuck to one, it would be boring. And so it's fun to change it up. I love to do headshots and lifestyle headshots because I'm a professional, I'm a business owner, and I associate with a lot of people who are. And I feel like, your first impression of someone really matters. So first impression when you go to a website, first impression when you hand somebody your business card and your picture's on there. If that picture doesn't look like you, or it's badly lit, or it's a bad version of yourself, you can't just confidently say, all right, and come to me.
Yeah.
And if you go to people's website and someone doesn't have a referral system, or they don't know you from anybody else, and they're checking out several different websites to see who they feel they can trust, who they feel is more relatable. If it's a bad portrait of you or of somebody, then it doesn't reflect well on you, and you're going to lose a client without even knowing that you lost a client. So I love doing good headshots because a lot of people have had bad experiences. And then I also love photographing kids. Kids are so fun. They're so individual. They're so spunky. You never know what you're going to get. Like
I'm sure you have some stories to tell.
Oh yes, years and years. But I love working with kids, and you've got to be able to get on their level. So many parents bring their child in and they want those smiles, the best smile that they know their kid can do. And a kid is not going to smile at you just because you want them to, because you say or ask them to smile. They're going to smile if they find something that is funny.
Right.
And so I talk to them. I'll say silly words. I'll whisper silly things in their ear. You know, I will play games with them and use reverse psychology. Like I'll make some animal sounds and say, "Oh, is that a cat?" and make the sound of a pig, or you know, so that they start thinking, and they're not thinking that I'm taking, you know, that I'm trying to get them to do something. Because
Right.
if a kid,
They have no idea that you're just clicking away on the camera.
right, it's an interaction. It's got to be natural and normal for them to get some natural smiles.
I remember many times my kids in tears
Yes.
taking pictures,
Yes.
and that was miserable for them and me, and then we'd have to go back. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. So speaking of kids,
Yes.
you have a cute kid contest, and this is your
7th.
year of
Yeah.
doing this. It's
Yes.
held in Canby.
Uh-huh.
And so what are the ages that you have come?
So it's usually 0 to 6, and it's my 7th year of doing it, and I've done, some people have brought their kids for 6 years, and then the older children they have felt really bad. And so finally this year I said, okay, whatever ages, I'm not going to put a limit, because I don't want them to stop. If they want to come and have their pictures taken, I want them to be able to do that. And it's fun. It's fun for
There's
me.
just so many more categories to...
Yeah, so what I do, I try to cap it because kids, once they get into kindergarten and 1st grade especially, they get school pictures. So this was primarily for all the kids that don't get school pictures. This is a way they can get professional photography for really a good deal. And but it's way cooler than school pictures because I have 3 or 4 background sets, and I have all kinds of props, and I have prizes for the kids that day when they show up. I have all kinds of little surprises for them after they're done for participating. So these kids feel so special, and it's about catering to them and helping them have this great experience, but building their self-esteem. And they feel like $1,000,000, and I'm like their buddy. And some kids, the first year they come, they're so shy, and so it's really hard for them. But after they come, and I work with them, and I make it as easy as I can, but some kids are painfully shy, and that's not going to stop, even with all my tricks, you know. But after they come a 2nd year and a 3rd year, they know me, they know what to expect, and they loosen up, and they're excited.
So you get all these kids. How many kids do you do in a day? Like 100?
Oh, not 100, but
It seems like
30 to 40 sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in a weekend I can have up to 100.
So how do you, no, it's an actual contest.
It's an actual
so
contest.
there's actual winners,
There's
1st,
actual
2nd,
winners,
3rd, and you do it in
yes.
age
So I have
groups.
different age categories because you don't want to judge a baby up against a 6-year-old because
Right.
the baby's always going to win.
Right.
Everybody likes the little, you know. So I can't be the bad guy because every kid is cute.
Right.
Every kid is precious, and I love them all. And so I ask 10 to 12 people to be judges, and they're not in the area. They're usually, several are out of state. I pick men and women, different age categories, different kinds of professionals, and I'll send them all the children in the age categories. So depending on how many kids in each category, it's a little bit different each year. Usually it's infants, 0 through 1 year are judged against each other, and then like 1 and 2-year-olds, and keep going. And that way I pick a 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, or I let the judges pick, but I'm able to award a 1st, 2nd, 3rd place winner to, say, 4 different categories. So I have 12 winners,
Wow.
and I give them, you know, the 1st place winner gets an 16 by 20 canvas gallery wrap,
Wow.
which is an expensive prize.
Nice.
But it's a fun way. That way, people, you know, it's $35 to enter, and they could possibly win a $250 free portrait.
Wow.
You
How
know.
fun.
Yeah.
My grandkids were almost going to be here this weekend. I was going to get them over there
That would have been fun.
they'd win.
Of course.
They are the cutest.
Yep.
That's really fun. So let's talk about newborns.
Oh boy.
It's a craze to get the newborn pictures, and they're all cuddled up in their little swaddling clothes. And how do you like doing newborns? Is it challenging?
I love doing newborns because it's a once in a lifetime. You have like a 2-week window before they start plumping up. I didn't do it for mine. I have 4 children. I took some pretty good newborns of my 4th, but I was still filmed back then, and it didn't become a craze till probably, till like 10 years later after my youngest. So I'm kind of doing it because I wish I could have had it done for mine. And since they're they are tiny for for like a minute, then they grow. But it's really special to capture just the tininess and the feelings that the parents have, especially first-time parents with their newborns. And it's taken many years to develop a flow and to learn how to do it well. It takes a lot of training.
I'm sure there's a big challenge with babies.
There's a learning curve, and the lucky for us, it used to be that we paid hundreds and thousands of dollars and would fly to conventions, photography conventions for a week, and we'd take all these classes from really big hotshot photographers. Now, because of social media, these hotshot photographers make videos that you can buy. You can buy their programs and watch them in the comfort of your own home and rewatch them, which I do, to learn how to wrap a newborn so that they're all cocooned up.
Yeah.
And
they almost don't look human sometimes because they just look like this
but
blob.
the trick is to get them to sleep. And you have to crank the heat up to 80 degrees because they like it warm. You've got to have heating pads to warm up the bean bag so it's warm, and it's like a warm nest. And you stretch fabrics and you wrap them up in fabrics and you swaddle them. There's like 50 different ways to swaddle a baby, right?
Oh, wow.
And so I have all these colors because it depends on the color scheme. I always ask the parent, how are you decorating the room? What colors do you like? Some people like really simple. I have all kinds of baskets and drawers and things to put newborns in, and I've got furs and headbands and little crowns for little girls and little hand knit hats and all kinds of things. So I have probably this, I like shoes too, but I really have gone over the top. I collect newborn props for newborns.
So let's talk about props.
All right.
The big thing, I've seen some of these, especially the 1-year-old pictures. Sometimes there's so many props, you barely can see the child.
Yes.
It's a little overwhelming sometimes, and I think, where's the focus here? So
right.
It's kind of a craze now, and you have to go with what the parents want.
Right.
But you have a lot of props.
I
correct?
do. So I have a whole warehouse of props. So I consult with my clients over the phone about what they want. And some people just want, let's keep it simple, like a simple background and floor and a little bit of foo-foo, some balloons and a cake, because they want the attention of their kid. Some parents really go gaga over having a theme and tons of props. And
do parents bring some props sometimes?
Sometimes parents bring some props, but most of the time it's expected for the photographer to provide everything. So I try and collect things throughout the year to go with themes. And yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And back to the newborn session, the newborn session is the hardest session to do. Like, I have sweat pouring down my back, and it's about a 3-hour session because the baby needs to be fed and burped and changed and rocked back to sleep, and it's not at home, so it usually, anyway, it just depends on the child. Sometimes the babies they're easier to photograph the sooner you bring them from birth. So like a baby from 0 to like 7 days, they're going to be sleeping, and the longer you wait to do your newborn, the more awake they are and the harder it is. So that's my plug.
So there's your tip for newborns. 7 days.
Take him in as soon as you can to get those sleepy, the baby where you're the sleepy baby poses. Yes.
Oh, they're so cute. And you love doing senior portraits too. That's
yes,
another
they're
one of
easy.
Your favorites. By the time they're 17, 18,
they're usually very excited about doing it. They follow instructions really well. They don't run off and follow something. Yeah, they're fun. It's a whole different. It's like a kind of a glamour shot. It's all about them.
Right.
It's a one photo shoot. They've got they're trying to capture who they are, and they're excited about life and becoming an adult, and so I always think about it as if I were to do their album cover, if they were a famous musician, what would that look like? You know, and so some kids are musicians, and you know, I've had a senior that played the saxophone, and we had him down in a tunnel playing the sax, and it looked so cool.
I think my niece brought her ukulele to you.
Yes, and
That
we
was
had her
fun.
sitting kind of in a river,
Yeah.
playing the ukulele, and that was really cute. Yeah.
Well, I've done 4, I'm counting in my head, I think I've done at least 4 sessions with you.
Yeah.
And I can attest, they are a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Celia makes you feel like you're just this glamorous model, and it's just a lot of fun when we've had our photo shoots with the lifestyle and the headshots, and lifestyle's kind of the new craze too, of getting everybody in action of something that they're doing, or
doing something that they like, having like their headshots done at a coffee shop, something that's natural for them with their coffee cup, and yeah,
just fun things.
it's fun. So kind of the difference between regular headshots and lifestyle is people will usually do lifestyle because they want to use different looks for social media outlets, and you know, and different things that they have coming up with their marketing.
Website,
So
marketing.
they usually want 4 or 5 outfits and completely different looks, and so we talk about that and what that looks like for them.
Yeah,
And
that's what we do.
a lot of planning goes into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can we find more information?
So I have a website, and it's celiastudioc.com. My Instagram is celiastudioc, and my Facebook page is Facebook.com/celiastudioc.
So all kinds of places
Right, yeah.
you can see.
So if you
what's
want more,
going on.
if anyone wants more info, that would be
Well,
good.
thank you so much for coming. I know you're a busy lady, and taking time to come talk to us tonight is great, and so I really appreciate you coming
Thank you.
to talk to us.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us tonight at TV Toastmasters. We appreciate your time, and we welcome you back for next week.
I joined Toastmasters to improve my speaking, listening, communication, and leadership skills.
Toastmasters gave me
Incredible confidence,
Confidence,
Great listening skills.
poise,
great leadership skills.
leadership skills,
the ability to speak in public,
strength,
A captive audience.
quality feedback from the more experienced Toastmasters.
Toastmasters really helped me improve my listening skills.
sales skills,
opportunities to go to different groups and widen my whole horizon.
Toastmasters has given me a more focused me, and I'm a much better listener. Toastmasters is fulfilling.
It's a great place to fail your way to success.
wonderful way to meet people,
Networking,
strength.
It's addictive.
It's a club of self-improvement.
It's an experience, it's a ride that you won't forget, and you'll enjoy it every step of the way.
Toastmasters helped me land a kick-butt job.
I sang at one of my table topic speeches, and people liked it and applauded.
My business is doing great, and I'm very, very grateful to Toastmasters.
It's been a great experience for me.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for giving me so much confidence.
thank you Toastmasters for everything.